I just wrapped up an amazing interview with my friend John, who's the founder of a supplement company called Be Live, and it's one of the top selling supplement brands on Amazon. He started in 2017, he was a one-man show with no employees, and recently he sold it for multiple 8 figures. In this episode, we talked about so many different things, such as how much money did he get started with, why supplements, what are some of the unique challenges to the supplement game, how did he do research and why did he choose supplements, what made him stand out from his competitors, how to protect the formula, what were some of the software systems, automations, things that he used, and what were some of the growing pains, and so much more. Such an incredible story. We talked about the ups and the downs of this journey, and I really hope that you guys enjoy this episode. If you do, smash the thumbs up button, leave a comment down below, and sit back, relax, enjoy this episode with John. I trust that life will take me to a better place based on the action I've taken today. Trust the process. All right, what's going on, guys? It's Tom here. I have a very special guest, my friend John, all the way from Australia. He's not Australian, he's Chinese, but then he's American. He's now living in Australia, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But John is the founder of a supplement brand, one of the top selling supplement brands on Amazon called Be Live. And very recently, I would say within the past month or two, he actually had a 8-figure exit, which is absolutely phenomenal. So today we're going to dive into his story, how he got into Amazon, how he was able to source these supplements, what his background was. Supplement is known to be a super competitive market. Love to get John to talk about how he was able to do well and how he was able to thrive in such a competitive market. What were some, maybe, we all hear these horror stories of competitors messing each other up. Love to see if he can share some of those stories with us as well. But John, welcome to the show, man. How are you doing today?
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Tom. Honored to be here and seeing several of your podcasts. So very excited.
Awesome. So John, why don't we just let's turn this back to the very beginning. Talk to us a little bit about, I'm curious to know about your childhood. You and I would talk about, we have very similar upbringing and so on and so forth. So if you can maybe share that with the listeners, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. So I was born in Beijing, China. And I guess growing up, it was a lot of domestic violence between my parents, and eventually they divorced, which, kind of forced my mom to start a new life in America. And at 11, that's when I left China and started school in San Jose, California. I guess it was a tough transition because you didn't know English. You just kind of, I guess, that typical Asian American childhood where you don't know English, you don't know where you're at, you lost all your friends, and you're starting life over. So that was probably the hardest thing I've encountered as a child.
Yeah. No, that's. I mean, I came to Canada around the same time as you, and I totally understand what you mean as well. It's a brand new environment. And what were you like? I'm curious to know, did you have a entrepreneurial drive when you were growing up, maybe when you were in high school or university? Were you doing side hustles and stuff like that? Or were you just super by the books and super risk-free and so on and so forth?
I would say I started the mindset, the business mindset, in college when I was flipping concert tickets. And that was really inspired by one of my college friends, Auden. But it didn't really impact me in high school or, childhood. I was always a mathematic chemistry person. So I majored in chemical engineering in college, and with a dream of becoming a chemical engineer, because you get paid over $90,000 as a starting. So that's what inspired me, but obviously it didn't work that way.
Yeah. So you went to school, you graduated, and did you just start working for a chemical engineering firm right afterwards, or?
No, not at all. I worked as a lab tech, so I actually struggled to find any job in the chemical engineering industry, which was pretty embarrassing because you work really hard, and I think engineering students are very prideful of their major and the struggles they've been through. So it was really embarrassing for me because everyone else was getting better paying jobs, even people that, friends that majored in like business admin or something like that. Not saying that's bad. I guess just the level of difficulty was, there's a big gap there. So I actually work as a lab tech. After 1 month, just feel really, I guess, depressed about the job. Because you're literally pouring like chemicals from one end to the other, and just everything was manual. You're not really using anything you learn in school. So I quit the job in a month. Then I started Amazon FBA and just never looked back since then.
Wow. I didn't know you only worked for 1 month. That's it.
1 month as I guess a contractor, because it wasn't even a full-time role.
Oh, wow. That's,
Yeah.
I had no idea. So, and then you started Amazon FBA. Talk to us about how did you find about Amazon? Were you when you were pouring tubes from one tube to the other, you're just like, oh, I want to make money online. So when you went home, you typed in Google how to make money online, and then Amazon popped up. Talk to us about how that story came about.
Yeah. So it's actually the same friend, Auden. He started his business probably 6 months prior to mine. And he just kind of showed me the stats. Like he was making $200-300 a day. And I was like, wow, that's amazing, right? Like you can literally just like, how do you do that? Because even regular paying jobs, like even just starting at 3-4K, I think that's already pretty good. You can make a living off of that. So yeah, after hearing that, I just went on Google, YouTube, whatever I could get my hands on. And yeah, just really, I would say the first 2 years of my journey was just learning how to do business because I had no background, right? I had like literally no, other than maybe scalping tickets, but that's like you just buying low, selling high. That was it. But yeah, that's all where it started.
Which year was this, by the way? When did you start Amazon? Found Amazon?
I found 2016. Then I started in 2017.
Got it. So 2017. Now, obviously, you had a supplement brand, and it's one of the top selling supplements on Amazon. Did you know that? I mean, obviously, in order for you to start an Amazon business, you first need to find a product to sell. And I'm sure when you went on YouTube, people tell you to use Viral Launch and type in these filters and stuff like that. Was that the route that you went with at the beginning, and you were like just sourcing something from China to learn the game, or were you like, I know I'm going to do supplements and I'm going to do supplements?
I knew I wanted to do supplements because it was something that I had passion for. So I did track and field in high school. So I was always into like diet and like fitness. So it's something I already know with some background. But yeah, I was really just looking at YouTube videos and finding products and like getting free courses, understanding what is like how to do product research, how to put yourself in the best position where your first product is a success. So yeah, I mean, I think I've probably gone through the same route as everyone else, just learn everything and put $5,000 in and see what happens.
So what was your first product? Was it a supplement company? Was it a supplement, or was it just something? It was a supplement.
Yeah, it was Garcinia Composure.
Isn't that like one of the most competitive products you can like?
Yeah. So at the time, I think this whole trend started in 2015. So I was actually pretty late in 2017, and I was just using like Jungle Scale and see like what was the top selling supplements, and then Garcinia Composure was one of them. And I thought, why not do something different? Because you have to kind of stand out and be unique. So I came across this US manufacturer that was selling Garcinia Composure, like raspberry ketone, green coffee beans, and like green tea, all in one formula. And that was one of the first private label with like variety of ingredients. So I was actually the first product that had all four. Whereas on the first page, everyone was Garcinia, 100%. And mine was the only one with 4 ingredients. And I think just from that experience, I realized you have to be very different that makes the impact that people want. So, it's really, are you disruptive or are you disrupted, right? Like it's you're either the one losing sales or the one gaining momentum. So from that one product alone, I kind of learned to only focus on product that is different to others. So I think I'm pretty lucky founding that product, because if that wasn't there, I don't know if I would have had the same level of success for the first product.
So how much was your initial investment for the first batch? Do you remember?
$5,000.
$5,000.
Yeah.
And then when you sold on Amazon, you took some photos and you get the product up on Amazon. Do you still remember like the first month? What was that like? How many sales did you do?
Yeah. I think the first month I made about $5K in profit. So like
how much in sales would you say? Like 20 grand?
Sales? Probably 15.
Oh, wow. What was that like to you? I mean, like you must have, what was that? Do you remember that moment where at the end of the month, you look at your books, you're like, oh my God, I made $5,000. Like, this is insane.
Yeah, I remember the exact moment where I was freaking out because I had 20 reviews and I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was just going to naturally, the PPC campaign is going to naturally take it to the first page and I'm just going to start selling. And it actually took my mom was actually spamming the link like in her groups and like her WeChat groups, just like, help my son like buy this and it's good for your weight loss and stuff. So it's like, it's interesting. And honestly, I feel like after the first maybe 10, 20 sales, it just naturally ranked up to the first page. And from there, I was seeing like 50 sales a day. And each unit was making like $10 profit, right? So then it would just, and the momentum didn't stop until I sell out the first batch. And just, I thought like, why would I ever go back to work for anything if I can just do this and create more products? If you can make $500 a day on one product and you do it like for 10, 20, that's already a pretty big business.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to backtrack for a sec. You had mentioned that your product had 4 ingredients. Were you the one that told the manufacturer to formulate something with 4 ingredients, or were they already offering something that had these 4 ingredients and they're like, hey, you should just buy this instead?
They were already offering something like that. So
oh, wow.
I came across probably 10 different manufacturers, and this is the only one that have it. And obviously, a lot of them didn't want to speak to me because $5,000 is not much. Usually the MOQ is like at least 5,000 units or something. So I was very lucky just finding that product in that moment.
So a lot of people obviously are sourcing their product from China, and we use Alibaba in China. Can you talk to us a little bit about, because I think your supplements are all made in the US, right? What are some of the ways that someone can source supplements or skincare or topicals or whatever in the States? Do you go to trade shows? Are there specific websites, or do you just use Google?
I would say you would do everything. I guess there's no right answer to this. You just kind of have to do everything to find the right one. Mm-hmm. And that could be a long journey.
What for you personally speaking, what have you found the most success in? Was it just like Google cold calling them, or did you go to trade shows?
It was Expo.
Oh, wow. So you did actually go to expos.
Yeah, the manufacturer I've been working with in the last 2 years, and like it's the best experience I've had, is meeting them, and we had dinner in Vegas. So like that whole experience and kind of seeing the people behind it and like the products, like, I mean, if they host a booth, if they own like a whole area, that means they're serious. And a lot of these ones online, they might just be a supplement broker. I would say like the top results on Google, like the first page are just bombarded with brokers where they're being the middleman from the real manufacturer and the brands. So I would say trade show is the best.
Right, right. So we covered how much capital you started with, why supplements, because you had an interest in it. I'm curious to know, like, what were some of the unique challenges presented to supplements themselves? Talk to us about maybe it could be anything. It could be the formulation of the product. It could be, making claims, marketing messages. It could be maybe talk to us about the product side. What were some of the unique challenges that was presented in the supplement space in terms of manufacturing those products?
Challenges as in like the product itself or like the marketing on Amazon?
The product itself. So the product development process.
Challenges. I think probably lead time, because starting out, you really want to launch the product within like the next 1 to 2 months. And it takes at least 3-4 months to, especially like with the gummies that we're doing, sometimes it takes 6 to 12 months. So
wow, 6 to 12 months.
Because a lot of these things that are, they have never existed before, right? They have to test like the stability, and they have to source the ingredients, put things together, and they might not taste as good. And they have to run it through large scale. So like there's a lot of things for gummies, but for capsules, it's pretty simple. Usually it's like 1 to 2 months, but over the last 3 years, I gradually move away from capsules.
So it's 6 to 12 months. I mean, let's say you have a brand new idea and you tell the manufacturer to make this product. On average, because you have so many products, right? On average, how many times back and forth do you guys have to go through before landing on that perfect formula?
I would say 2-3 times.
2-3 times? Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not bad. So I'm curious to know as well, because in the supplement space, I think every year there are kind of new ingredients, right? There are new new ingredients that pop up, and then a wave of supplement brands come in and they ride the wave up. How important is that in a supplement business where you have to do constant research, read, I don't know what you read, but like research papers and so on and so forth to see what the latest ingredients are? Can you talk to us about kind of, I guess, the trend behind supplements and how you were able to navigate through that, or how you were able to identify trends as well?
That's a good question. It's very competitive in this industry. So like the moment you find something that works, a bunch of people is going to jump on it and try to knock you off, and you eventually just drive the price down, right? And it just, that's what I noticed in the capsule and powder industry, because there's already a lot of existing brands, like 8-9 figure brands already were dominating that category. So the moment they find you, they can take 3-4 months to catch up, right? Because they can rack 1,000 reviews really quickly. And at that, I remember in 2018, I was feeling like every time I come with something new, within 3-4 months, competition comes up, right?
Oh,
and
wow.
I was so tired of like, because I didn't want to use the review strategy to like get to a couple thousand in a few months. I was scared of like getting my account suspended and all that. So I had to find like a different way of creating a competitive edge. And that's when I came across gummies, because I did like a lot of research on existing manufacturers. And at the time, there's only like 5 manufacturers in the world that can make supplement gummies. And I just find it so hard to like get a response or get an order in, because it seemed like they were only making for big brands that are like, multivitamins or calcium. They're not really trying to create something new for someone that they never heard of before. And from that moment, I realized there's a shortage of like a supply demand. And so competition weren't able to catch up as quickly because they couldn't make the product. it would take them 6 to 12 months to make it. So I use that as my competitive edge. But yeah, it's extremely difficult to find an angle in the supplement space, but it's very lucrative if you do find one.
So how were you able to find that angle though? I'm curious. Like you have so many products. I guess walk to us about the thinking process of what to launch next, right? How did you decide which supplement to launch next?
Well, I think when you start in the gummy industry, you're already like diversified to a level. And then all you have to do is look for ingredients that can be made into a gummy that's effective, because you can only put like 500 milligram as opposed to, a couple grams in a capsule. So there are limitations with what you can make. And I don't really use any tools because there's so many supplement ingredients. I think the longer you're in the industry, you just kind of know a lot of ingredients. And when you go to trade shows, like ideas just naturally come up. I don't know if I can answer this, but like the more time you spend in an industry, the more, I guess, intuition you develop. And it just, I don't really have a process of explaining it. It just, whenever you encounter it, you feel like, okay, that's a great opportunity. Let's try to do it.
Right. So let me ask you, I mean, I'm on your website right now, and there's like the immunity bundle. There's the digestive health bundle. There's the weight loss bundle. There's the women's health bundle, right? It seems like you're going after certain problems. So someone, for example, want to lose weight. Well, apple cider vinegar, right? Or Moonburn, which is the product you have. Did you think about your products as different buckets of problems that you can solve and then launch supplements within those different buckets? Or was it literally just like, hey, I know iron is a hot ingredient. I don't have, what if I just turn that into a gummy flavor and made it taste good? Like that will probably be a good idea.
I guess I look at my competitors a lot. So like before I go into a category, I would look at their existing reviews. Like for example, iron gummies at the time, I think the top product was a 4 out of 5. So that shows a lot of potential, because iron tastes really bad and it tastes like blood and metal. And I realized there is a problem. A lot of people were not happy with the top seller. And yeah, like if you can create something that doesn't taste like blood, then that's, I mean, I don't know if you could, search iron gummies on Amazon. Like I could point out like that existing top seller 4 years ago, and now their sale is like maybe 1/10 of ours. But back then they were the top seller. So it's really a migration from kind of what all people were buying then and what they're buying now. So it's interesting to see, you can create a more superior product, and over time you will be more dominant.
So, hitting that as an example, the iron tastes like blood and metal. Hey, I can solve that problem by making a gummy version that tastes better. So that that's the problem you want to solve. When you go to your manufacturer, you literally just tell them that, be like, this tastes like crap. Make me a better version. Send it to this address. Let me sample it, and then I'll let you guys take care of whatever. Like just formulate a good tasting gummy, and I'll approve of it.
Right. That's it. Yeah. I mean, they're the experts, right? And they have the labs. And there was a few back and forth on that one, because it is really hard to make a good iron gummies. Like almost every listing, every product will have similar reviews. But I would say ours is probably like one of the best tasting one.
So, what helped you to protect your formulation and so on and so forth? Because, earlier you had mentioned any of these big competitors can come in. Was it just strictly the fact that you found someone to, that you can work well with, who maybe don't accept everybody as a customer? Was that the only way for you to protect your formulation, or can you put like patents or anything like that at all?
I don't think, yeah, in the supplement industry, it's really hard to have a patent for a formula. I think you could have a patent on a specific ingredient, which, some companies like Go, BHB. So like, yeah, it's not easy to patent a formula. So like, I don't really look into trying to protect myself just from the manufacturer perspective, that as long as my manufacturer is not selling the same product to other people, then I'm fine with that.
Got it. Got it. That makes sense. I mean, you scaled really, really quickly, right? Can you talk to us about your revenue, like year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4? Like, are you able to?
Yeah. First year was 1 million. Second year, 3 million. Third year, 4 million. And fourth year's 11 million.
What happened year 3 and 4? No, year 2 and 3, I guess. They only went from.
Yeah, so the surge in COVID and just having inventory all the time, because those last 3 years I was running out of inventory like 40% of the time.
Oh, man.
Yeah, like my first manufacturer wasn't able to supply the demand until the one that I met in Vegas. They are much bigger, publicly traded, and never had an issue with them on inventory. Yeah.
So would you say the question I was going to ask you originally was, what were some of the growing pains? Obviously, inventory is one of them, but what were some of the other growing pains that you had?
This one is this one's probably the hardest. So in 2018, I lost all my reviews. So like all my listings, all the reviews were gone, and these took 2 years to build. And at the time, I only had like maybe a total of 1,000 reviews combined with all my listings. And that was pretty heartbroken because, you work very hard for that. But yeah, like that was, I thought the business is dead from there. I was actually, I started trading stocks after, because I feel like it's over and there's no way to come back from that. And then I lost more money. I lost like another 200,000 from trading. So that was the hardest moment in my, I guess, business career. Yeah.
Wow. Let's talk about that. I'm curious to know. I mean, you lost all your reviews. Obviously, you were defeated. I've heard of this story before. Like, it was the review wipe, right? Yeah. First of all, did you ever get those reviews back or no?
No.
Okay. So all your reviews are gone, but you were still making some sales, right?
Yeah, it went from probably making 30, 40,000 profit a month to like break even or 1,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
So emotionally speaking, that must have taken a really, really big toll on you.
Yeah.
So much so that you decided to quit. You pretty much quit, right? At that point? Well, like, what was your plan? Were you like, I'm just going to sell out everything and not going to reorder again? Or like, I'm just going to work on this part-time and trade stocks part-time? Like, what was your thinking process?
I was very confused. Obviously, I wanted the reviews to come back, and I was angry because to see my competitors, rise up and not have their reviews again. Because I think it was pretty random. They were choosing by random, and yeah. So I remember I was on vacation with trips in Iceland with a few friends, and I was literally trading in the back of the RV, just like, because I was so motivated to like, because I feel like my career was on the line and like my whole identity was lost,
Wow.
Like, what am I? Do I need to go find a job? Like, I lost the stability of having I guess a stream of income. So yeah, it was like just a confusing time. Yeah, it was really tough. And I think the turning point was, I'm the type of person, like I just never give up on things. And I just made a kind of like like I saw a vision that in 2 years, I'll be able to sell the business, like build it back up and then sell the business for $5 million. Like that was the dream at the time. But yeah, it was tough. Like that was, every day I was just thinking about that and like, yeah, I don't think I was good to be around. Just, every day I was thinking about how to come back up.
Wow. That's absolutely incredible. And then I guess you just had that pivotal moment after you lost $200,000 in stocks. You're like, I should probably just stick to Amazon. Let me make this work again, right?
Yeah, because trading it's very dangerous. It's because people have to go through the same journey. Really, they go through maybe 10 years of trading to find that intuition. And for someone new like me to come in and expect to make crazy amount of money, because I wasn't looking to make 500 to 1,000. I was really trying to like make as much as I did, with Amazon, and that mindset alone just it was not working. And
you're
yeah,
chasing
like
you're chasing like quick money, quick wins at that time.
yeah, quick wins.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an incredible story. I think with any sort of entrepreneurs, we all have that story, right? Like with Sdara, we were blocked from Amazon for like a month. And
Wow.
it would, dude, that, oh my God, that was just like maybe a month and a half, 2 months. I quit my job, and our business went from like $40,000 a month to $200,000 a month. I thought I was like on top of the moon, like I thought I was just like, I thought I was everything. And then, yeah, they just took down our listing. We got a bunch of hijackers, and yeah, but I never like decided to trade stocks or anything like that. I was like, screw this. I actually got in touch with someone who knew one of the senior people at Amazon. That's how like desperate I was. And that senior person made a call to someone, and like our listing came back up. It was insane. So
That's crazy.
that
Yeah.
guy's probably not listening to this, but like if he is, like, my God, I should actually probably send him an email. It's been a few years, but I will never forget those days, man. I was crying. I was literally crying.
Yeah, I was crying every day, and I had something similar actually. So this is my first listing, and it got taken down for like a week. And my stepdad actually messaged someone like a senior level on LinkedIn.
Oh, wow.
Because I couldn't get it back for like 2 weeks, and with just contacting selling support and doing everything I can. And this guy just said, "All right, what is the ASIN?" And within a day later, he got reactivated.
Oh my God. That's insane.
It's crazy.
That is great. Amazon, I love Amazon, but there are definitely some stuff where it keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
I remember just like when I'm running my Amazon business, if there's any emails from seller performance, I'm like, no, like my heart will skip a beat.
Yeah, I still have that. Yeah.
Yeah. But now you can sleep better at night. So I'm also curious to know, John, you had mentioned that you were kind of like a one-man show.
Yeah.
Why did you decide not to hire people? Like, do you have trust issues or?
I don't think that was not my plan, right? It was not what I planned. I definitely wanted to hire more people and kind of take more things off my shoulders, but it just I didn't really understand how to hire and what to look for. And everyone that I hired, I ended up firing because I had too high of an expectation. And eventually I just can't really find a way to keep someone full time. And because there's so many day to day, like as the business was growing, there's so many things I have to do, and I just didn't have or take out the time to create like a training manual first, right, to onboard someone. And I was hiring people who were entry level, right? And I should have hired more experienced people that I didn't need to spend time training. But yeah, training was tough. I was able to manage growing it and just really grind. But there's a lot of trade-off. The pros is you don't have to pay a lot of overhead. You don't have to deal with people. I'm a big introvert, so naturally I like working alone. But the trade-off is that you can't really scale your business as large as you could, and you're stuck on the day-to-day. Like I'm still kind of doing the day-to-day, and yeah, I know you have hired a lot of people, so it would be great to hear, how you're able to get over that hump. Because I don't think I'm the only one experiencing this. Because with Amazon FBA, a lot of it is automated, right? So it's hard to find a specialized person. Like most likely, you find someone who's good at everything. So yeah, would like to hear more about your story.
I think the biggest hiring tip I can give, I've hired probably over 50 people within the past I don't know, like year or two. So I've by any means I didn't hire like hundreds, but I think I've learned a lot from hiring. I sucked at hiring at the very beginning, and now I don't think I'm great, but I'm definitely way better off than I was like from 2 years ago or a year ago. I think there's a few different things that's really important to hire. Number one is you need to be crystal clear of what you need to hire for. If it's customer service, this person is only doing customer service. It needs to be a very, very specialized role. So don't hire for customer service and the next day you think that they need to do inventory management and you tell them to do inventory management. They're going to be super, super confused. And the reason why they're confused is because you were confused in the first place. So I think step number one is to plan out exactly who you need on the team and what their tasks are. Number two is they need to have proper like KPIs that they can be held accountable to. I think as human beings, we all like to have goals in our lives. We all like to strive to achieve a certain task or a position or whatever it might be. So these are all just goals. And I think it's really, really important to give your employees goals so that they know if they're hitting their goals or not. And then I think number three which is, I would say, the 3 and 4 are both important. Most people say hire for culture. Like definitely doesn't matter how good someone is. If this person is like a total dick or an asshole to everybody else, like I don't want you on the team, right? That's, self-explanatory. But number 4, which is the most important thing, and this is the one that I've took a little while to learn. And it is kind of common sense, but they say common sense not so common these days, is hire someone who has been there and done that, right? So if you are looking to hire a customer service manager, which I just hired for, I only go through resumes where they had previous customer service manager experience. And in the job interview, I want them to tell me what was their experience. So for example, someone who I'm working with right now, she's in the Philippines. She was working for a North American company. She was the third employee customer service. And then she was actually able to take the lead and grow that customer service team all the way up to like 30, 40, 50 people. So I know that this person has been there and done that. And I call their references. I just want to double check to make sure they're legit. And then from there, I ask them like, hey, this is the challenge I'm having. I have 2 customer service representatives. I want to scale up to 10. Tell me how I can do that. And then in a way, they're teaching me what to do. I don't know how to do that. So they're teaching me what to do. And if their step-by-step process makes sense to me, I'm just like, okay, like you're hired. I'll give you three months probation and go on from there. So I think the most important thing is, I have some friends right now that are doing like, 10, 20, $50 million a year in revenue, but they want to get to like 100 or 200. And what I've seen, and AJ as well, it's like he is really, really good at assembling a team because he understands that just because your business can go from 1 million to 10 million, it doesn't mean that it can go from 10 million to 100 million. And it doesn't mean that you can go from 100 million to a billion, because every single one of those are different levels, and different levels require different types of people. So there was the guy from Oracle, I forget his name. You know who I'm talking about? Larry Edison, I think. He runs Oracle. There's stories about him where every single time, like he try to grow his company to a new height, he will fire every single one of his executives. Wow. Yeah, he just can't all of them and just like hire new people because. Yeah, he's right in a way where if you try to go from 10 million to 100 million, it requires different set of different team.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean that's why I kind of hit a plateau, and yeah, it's definitely something I need to work on in the next few years.
Mm-hmm. So what are I just have a few more questions here. So in terms of like automation systems, softwares, like what are some of your like favorite software that you use or automation? What are some of the gems that you use in your business, whether it's inventory management or was that just a spreadsheet, or like what are some day-to-day softwares that you used or systems or automations or whatever?
I used to use automated PPC softwares, but that's not the case anymore. Yeah, I don't use any automation anymore, and I don't really use. Not sure if I have a good answer for this. I do use Jungle Scale for like just I guess product research. Helium 10 is a good one. Just looking at like the rankings and like the history of the ASIN's performance.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's about it.
Got it. So pretty lean. Last but not least, why did you decide to sell?
I just feel like I can only do so much by myself, and I didn't want to wait for 2 or 3 years, learn the skill set of hiring, and by then I feel like so much more competition would have caught up, and I would rather sell it to a company who can, that have experienced that to grow a 10 million business to 50 million, and so yeah, I feel like it was a good time for me to exit, and it's been a long 5 years, and I already have a second business running.
Yeah.
So my prerequisite of selling was to make sure I have another business that's doing close to the first one. So then I'm more diversified. Yeah.
So your second business is already doing as close as the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Holy crap. That's insane.
Yeah.
Seems like you figured out a formula to what would you say like your formula, like is it just differentiation, like catching the trend, differentiate when it comes to marketing X, Y, and Z? Like, yeah, talk to us about this formula, this magic pill that you have.
I don't know if it's a magic pill. Like it's I don't know. I feel like I'm just lucky. Like I come across products that I think are disruptive, that are different, and at the time, like there are no manufacturers for them. Like I guess the rule of thumb is like if you find a product that doesn't have manufacturers to make, like you can't really find that many, then you're onto something, because there's not a lot of supply. That means there's not a lot of competition, and you're usually at the early stage of that trend, as opposed to being the last, right? Because if you're able to develop a product with every manufacturer that you can find, then it's not so special anymore. I guess the formula is, make a product that's really different, unique, that solves a problem, and add branding to it. I like to use the example Golly. Like that's like the perfect execution, I think, for any, beginners to really learn from that, going from nothing to, I don't know, probably $1 billion in sales in like 2-3 years. Mm-hmm. I think they took the concept of, because we actually started apple cider vinegar gummies at the same time. I think a few months before them.
No way.
Because I already had maybe 100 reviews, and they were at like maybe 20, 30 at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I remember very specifically, I see this brand, I'm like, holy crap, like how they're able to rack up so many reviews in a short amount of time. And then I saw them on the Ellen show. They just built momentum really fast, because they took the branding and the product selection, like the perfect timing. At the time, apple cider vinegar already existed for many years, but people were kind of tired of taking the capsule and the drink. So it's like a perfect disruption to the market. So that would be the example I follow.
Wow. I didn't know that you launched the apple cider vinegar before Golly.
Yeah, they said world's first apple cider vinegar gummies, but
yeah,
but they have such a big brand, like everyone believes it, right? Like branding is a whole different animal. I don't think it's very emphasized in the Amazon FBA world, but like for D2C and a lot of those big brands, they take branding to the next level.
For your new business, well, the business that's doing well right now, are you focusing on Amazon only, or are you trying to bring in D2C as well?
Yeah, we're doing everything, and we're even rebranding. Like, yeah, we're putting a lot of time and effort in, rebranding the product and optimizing the product. Yeah.
Got it. Cool, man. Well, John, thanks for your time. It's congrats to you and your success. I I was texting you the other day. You're like, yeah, man. Like, I'm like, oh, you bought a Lambo yet? You're like, no, I'm like starting the next business already. Back to the grind. But I think it's good to take a step back and kind of, see how far you've come. I mean, you and I both were from China, and you came here with nothing. And yeah, like I'm sure your mom is very, very proud of you. And but like we're Chinese, so it's like we're never proud of ourselves, right? We're never like, oh, like you did so good job. It's kind of just like put your head down and keep working. Yeah, but I just want to congratulate you on your success. It's it's, believe it or not, it's been actually a very big eye opener for me to talk to you. And the other day you said, wow, AJ is very inspiring. That's like motivation. I think I have the same feelings towards your success. It's like, wow, this guy was born in China at the same time as me, came to North America same time as me, and he's like doing really, really well. And yeah, it's been an inspiration in my life as well. So yeah, I just want to let you know that.
I really appreciate it. And likewise, I mean, you came in the middle of that deal I was finishing. So like you really helped me, in that process. And I think without your insight, I wouldn't have gotten the exit that I got. Mm-hmm. So it was actually close to what you told me. So yeah, very grateful that we have met, and hopefully, hopefully one of these days, once lockdown is open, maybe we'll have some lunch or dinner in Canada or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I think we spilled a lot of bombs, a lot of practical advice, lots of ups, lots of downs in business. But if you guys enjoyed this episode, please smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this with a family or friend. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next video.